dilemma is 5 minutes. So the Climate Vulnerable Forum and the V20 Group of Finance Ministers, founded in 2009, 11 countries. By the time I joined in 2015 as an advisor, it was 20. Now we're 74, and we represent 1.7 billion people around the world. Our members include the most vulnerable countries who have done so little to contribute to the problem. The session began with a statement that South-South cooperation is a cornerstone. I say it's another way to spell leadership. And if we talk about leadership, this is the right place to do so, because as probably the whole world knows, is very thankful for the leadership that has been displayed by Pakistan in trying to sort out warring big powers. And this is the kind of leadership that we actually need from those who are interested to bring about peace. What have we done in particular in the CVF and D20 that would matter? There's many, but I would like to focus on a couple of things. We have been flooded with a lot of data and numbers since yesterday. I think I'd like to put a context onto this in terms of the politics and the changes that we are able to leverage because we are determined to deliver change. So we were established in 2009. In 2015, 2 months before the Paris Agreement was gaveled, the CVF established what is called the V20 Group of Finance Ministers. The initial response of the finance ministers was one of surprise. It took them about 2 months to realize that, yes, they are at the center of the climate crisis resolution. For so long, many people up to now think that climate change is an environmental issue, which is just a subset of the entire problem. We are in the middle of a development crisis, and we need the economic managers of all our member countries to take the lead. By establishing the V20 Group of Finance Ministers, we actually set the bar very high for the rest of the world. Europe, North America, other advanced nations did not really know what to do. It was V20 being established that set the tone, because we said, if we do not have an economic plan, an economic and development strategy to address this crisis, what are we doing? What's the point? Initially, the ministries in the advanced nations were sending back some of our letters saying this has to go to the aid department or to the development ministry. And we said no. Our members are not looking for charity. We are looking for partnership. Our goal is not to ask or beg for aid. Our goal is investment and trade. And so the V20 thus focused on the issues that mattered most to our peoples. Yes, there are ecological problems, but much of this has to be addressed and can only be addressed when we look at cost of capital, when we look at the risks, when we look at investments and what we need to do to bring them in. This is why we also established what we call the Global Parliamentary Group. It's not about declamations or statements or manifestos talking about who is the most responsible. The Global Parliamentary Group of the CVF and B20 was designed to ensure that regulations are in place so that we can attract the investments that we direly need and to keep them. Because otherwise, again, the question, what are we doing? What's the point? The climate crisis is not simply an environmental issue. If it's a development problem, then we have to tackle it in the right way. Our goal is not to reduce emissions per se. Our goal is to advance resilience in development, which is also why we formed, again to pioneer a global response, we formed the Central Bank Governors Group to tackle monetary policy and what is needed to bring about financial change that would make changes last and endure. So everything has been about finance and economics that dovetails with the best work that is happening with the Environment and Foreign Affairs ministries. But economic outcomes is ultimately what our people will measure us by, what our people will really monitor. Because for us, emissions reductions are great, but ultimately, even if the climate crisis is the largest problem that we have all ever faced, it is not necessarily the most important. To a family, food, jobs, shelter, and health are just as important. Luckily, our economic managers also understand that if we bring development to the working families of our nation, that is also our greatest contribution to the global climate crisis, because we save when we switch to renewable energy instead of relying on fossil fuels. And that savings can go towards social services, towards adaptation, towards resilience, towards better infrastructure. When we chase resilience as the main priority from our macroeconomy to our micro neighborhoods, we know that we will bring about things that will change for lives for the better, and at the same time make things more efficient. Because in the end, the belief of CVF and V20 is that when you place the resilience at the topmost priority and you deliver infrastructure that lasts and changes in supply chains, in logistics and urban services, when you transform society as a priority, we contribute to the global climate good in far bigger ways. Right now, we're in a crisis moment. I think it's actually important to state what it really is. We are in an impasse that is best explained by one of the world's best poets, who happens to be Pakistani. Faiz Ahmad Faiz once wrote, neither dusk will fall, nor darkness arrive. Neither night will end, nor dawn arise. What we need is leadership to get out of this impasse. And leadership means using everything in the toolbox: science, policy, politics, and yes, including poetry.
Thank you.